Salam Allah. This is AnnurAllah, and the title of this video or presentation is the black woman God according to the teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, the messenger of Allah? And the purpose of this video is to bring clarity to those who may be confused or unsure as to what he taught regarding this subject. And the uncertainty is actually rooted in those who are student followers of his, giving mixed opinions and different answers, and even sometimes conflicting answers. And this is because this is basically rooted in people interjecting their beliefs, their personal desires, what they want, and what they want to be into the teachings. And it isn't a bad thing, because none of us were born with these teachings. We all coming up out of hell studying them and trying to master them and get better at them. But in this case, I'm going to clarify this strictly with what he taught, not with my opinion or my beliefs or what I want or anything like that, or personal desires, but that which he taught and can be verified that he taught. And this should bring clarity to the subject, and actually, hopefully, an end to the confusion regarding what he taught in this subject. So we're going to get into this now, actually beginning with a quote of his from chapter 12 of Our Savior Has Arrived. Quote, according to the Bible and Holy Quran, God is referred to by the pronoun he, never as she, always in the masculine term, end quote. Now we're going to elaborate on that right now with some basic common sense. When dealing with the species of a thing, right, the male of that species is always referred to in the masculine sense. The female of that species is always referred to in the feminine sense. The collective of the species is referred to in the masculine sense, never the feminine sense. For example, when you're dealing with the species lion, right, the male lion is referred to as lion. The female lion is referred to as a lioness. However, the collective is referred to as lion, not lioness. Always he in the masculine, never as she in the feminine. Same thing with man. When we talk about man, we know that woman is not a man. She is not a man. She's the feminine aspect of man. So the species, or if you want to call it a species, man, the masculine aspect or the male of that species is referred to as man, a man. The female is referred to as woman, but collectively it's man. Same thing with mankind, so the collective is always referred to in the masculine, never in the feminine. And this is what has to be understood. The feminine of a collective is not separate from the collective. It's actually a part of the collective. Just to give an example of that from the messenger's teachings, he says, this is from the divine sayings, quote, a man should love his family regardless of whom or what, because it is a part of himself. That's from the divine sayings. A man should love his family regardless of whom or what, because it is a part of himself. Okay, so the collective, the whole, is referred to as the masculine. It's the man. The feminine is part of the collective. It's not the collective, and the collective is never referred to in the sense of the feminine, nor is the feminine referred to in the collective. An example of this, my right hand, it's a part of me. My right hand is a part of me. It's not me. My right hand is AnnurAllah's right hand. It's not AnnurAllah. If my right hand, even though all the DNA and all the cells of my right hand contains the DNA, all the DNA of my body, if my right hand was severed and it was cut off and it was laying there on the floor, I cannot say that my right hand or that right hand on the floor is AnnurAllah. It's not me. It's not me all by itself. No, I'm still here, but my right hand is severed. Okay, my right hand is a possession of mine. It's a part of me. It is not me. And this is what needs to be understood about the feminine. It's not separate from the collective. It's definitely not an independent reality from the collective. If my right hand is separate and severed from me, it would die. It would decompose on its own, because it's not connected to the collective me, the God, Annur. So therefore, the whole concept of an independent woman is bogus, completely bogus. Now we're going to take it to the lessons. In Lost Found Muslim lesson number 2, the 1 through 40, question number 1, it asks, who made the Holy Quran, the Bible, how long ago, Will you tell us why Islam renews a history every 25,000 years? Answer, which I'm going to quote in part. The Holy Quran or Bible is made by the original people, who is Allah, the supreme being, or black man of Asia, end quote. Now there's more to that lesson, but I'm going to just use that part to make the point that I'm going to make, which is that it's clear that original people is inclusive of the black woman. It's the black man, woman, and child. Okay, it's the black family. Again, if we go to the messenger's quote from the divine sayings, a man should love his family regardless of whom or what, because it is a part of himself. Okay, so yes, this that first degree in the 1 through 40 is inclusive of the black man, woman, and child, right? But his family is an extension of himself. It's a part of himself. It's a possession of his. It belongs to him. You know, the man is the God. So the collective, again, is referred to in the sense of the he. So she is inclusive. She's included, rather, in this lesson as the original people, who is Allah, the supreme being, the black man of Asia. But she is a part of the collective, again, which is always referred to as the he. The man is the foundation. The man is the first. Because my right hand is a part of me, it's an extension of me. It's a possession of mine. It belongs to me. It's not its own independent reality. And if we go to another quote of his in the position of men and women, I believe that was the title of it. He refers to the man, the woman as the second self, and the man as the first self. So the second self is an extension of the first self. Some people bring up the term goddess. I've never seen or heard the messenger use that term anywhere. I myself don't want to say that he didn't say it, because he has such a vast body of teachings, 44 years of teachings, and I don't think I've seen everything. But if he referred to the black woman as goddess, I think he would have done it on multiple occasions, you know, and I've never seen it. So therefore, I myself don't use it. Now, some of my brothers refer to the black woman as goddess, and that, you know, they have a right to, they have a prerogative. That's their prerogative. But I myself don't do that because I never saw the messenger do it in regards to the black woman. He referred to the black man as the first self, the black woman is the second self. He said that the black man is God, the black woman is the black man is the first self, and woman is the second self. Again, I've never seen him say verbatim that the black woman is God, and I believe that there's a reason for that. And I've never seen him refer to the black woman as goddess, and I believe there's a reason for that. So I try my best to stick to his language and his lingo in regards to this subject. Now, the quotes that have become a point of contention, well, we're going to deal with one at a time. One of the brothers highlighted to me where the messenger said, all Muslims are Allah's, and he said, it's not the black woman a Muslim. And my response to that is, if we're dealing with religious persuasion, yes. In fact, anybody can be a Muslim. Even a white man can be a Muslim, you know. But is a white man Allah? No. So clearly, in this context, he wasn't speaking about religious persuasion or religious identification. He was speaking of nature. You know? And Muslim, the actual meaning of the word outside of religious dogma is one that's whole, one at peace, one that's whole. And if we look at the black man is the all in all. He contains both chromosomes, XX, XY, right? So he determines the sex, and all races and all other peoples and ethnicities and biologies that the different peoples come from him. So all the peoples, the different races on the planet come from the black man, and all the genders come from man. So the black man is the all in all. He is the complete. This is the context of Muslim. All Muslims are Allah's. Again, Allah means all in all. Now, the black woman is whole within herself. She's whole, but she does not contain the X and Y chromosome to produce man in this context. So in the context of wholeness or all in all, no, she is not that. She is a part of that. She comes from that, but she herself is not that. This is in regards to the black man himself. The black man himself is the genetic foundation of all peoples on the planet, regardless of gender and race. Everyone on the planet, the foundation starts with the black man, and this can be proven, it has been proven genetically, biologically, and through conventional science. Therefore, the Holy Quran in Surah 112 says that there's none like him. None like him, because this can't be said for anybody else on the planet. And for those who would disagree, I would say to bring proof, actual proof, and not pseudoscience or, the mumbo jumbo that you see coming from the so-called conscious and some of these nuts out here. Another statement of his from the same book, Our Savior Has Arrived, which has become a point of contention for many, is, quote, the statement he made, quote, every righteous person is a God. We are all God, end quote. So the brother also asked me in regards to that, he said, does this not cover the black woman? And my response to that is the Holy Quran, Surah 4, Ayat 34, I believe it is, says that men are the maintainers of women. Now, some have reduced this to just material values, but this is way more than that. This is mental, moral, spiritual, whatever you want to call it, all of that. So the righteousness of women, righteous women, their righteousness is maintained by righteous men. Honorable women, their honor rather, is maintained by honorable men. Women of integrity, they're being integrable, or they're having integrity. Their integrity is maintained by men of integrity. Truthful women are maintained and kept truthful by truthful men. So men are the maintainers of women in all regards. And I want to elaborate further on this concept of maintenance and maintaining, because it's synonymous with control in this context of the messenger's teachings. The messenger quoted Master Fard Muhammad in an article titled, or it might have been a lecture titled, The Position of Men and Women, where he says, quote, if you don't keep her under control, she is dangerous. We don't trust her. Satan ruins the woman. He does not want her shut in, but on display. She is hard to train, end quote. Now, this is him quoting Master Fard Muhammad himself. And they're talking about the dangers, or how dangerous an out of control woman is. So a woman out of the control of a man, or out of the authority of a righteous man's jurisdiction, yes, can be dangerous. So again, she's part of the collective. She is part of the heat, part of the God collective, or the Allah family. But is she a righteous person by herself or out of control? No, she is not. Not on her own. A woman's righteousness, or the righteousness of women, is maintained by righteous men. Men are the maintainers of women. And this is something that, this is not misogyny, this is not woman hatred. This is Elijah Muhammad's direct teachings that you can go back and verify for yourself. You can either accept it or reject it. And this is what makes what people call the so-called Abrahamic traditions so feared in devil's society, where they try to make everything backwards, is because when you have a society of men controlling, and men controlling their families, and the women under control, it actually brings peace and it brings order. And the chaos, Satan actually rules, the devils actually rule over chaos. They're like parasites. Parasites feed off of death and decay and destruction. So they feed the 10%, the bloodsuckers of the poor. They feed off the miseries of the people, and as long as there's chaos and disorder, they feed and they make money off of that. They actually eat off of that. But I'm gonna go to the next point of contention within the messenger's teachings, and this comes from Message to the Black Man, where he says, quote, God means possessor of power and force, end quote. And it can be rightfully asked, does the black woman possess power and force? Yes, the black woman does possess power and force. Power and force in a realistic scientific concept. Again, I'm not dealing with spirituality or philosophy, but power is electricity and force is magnetism. Electromagnetism, or electricity and magnetism working together, that's life itself. So yes, the black woman is a possessor of power and force. The black man possesses power and force. The black baby possesses power and force. The black child possesses power and force. A zygote, an embryo, possesses power and force. All living things possess power and force, electricity and magnetism, because electromagnetism is actually life itself, if we understand. And it's the source of all creation. So when we're dealing with power and force, again, all things, living things, possess power and force, including animals. But we're talking about the supreme of living beings, and this is the black man himself, within the teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. Now, again, I wanted to go back to the concept of control and maintenance, and highlight this, that if we notice, wherever we see a circle of people or a society or group of people where the men are patriarchal and they're dominant and they're masculine, you notice that the women will generally be softer, more dainty and more feminine, and better protected. And the society itself will be it'll be more balanced. There's more law, there's more order. The society itself is actually healthier. And with that being said, I want to give a shout outs to our Israelite brothers, my Israelite brethren, who, regardless of whether people agree with them or not on certain issues, one thing that they take seriously is their masculinity and their patriarchy. They do not play that sim stuff that a lot of brothers from other circles within Black thought have fallen victim to. So shout out to our Israelite brothers, and shout out to the FOI and the Moors and those brothers, in the conscious community who maintain their masculinity and their patriarchy. And I also wanted to say this. Now, we may see one of my brothers may make a reply in response to this, which may not be in full agreement with my views, and that's perfectly okay. This is what people have to understand. When we're dealing with alpha men are comfortable in their own skin. We are not a monolithic group of, we're not a cult. We're not monolithic FOI. We're not blind followers of each other or anyone else, It's okay that we have differing views on certain things, because this is how we grow. Unlike some of the other societies where you have a difference in view or opinion, you're put out and you can't come around. We ain't like that. We're alpha brotherhood. So sometimes I'll be with one of my brothers and I'll get an inbox. Hey, I noticed you said ABC and brother so and so said XYZ, or brother Khalil. Shout out to brother Khalil. Said XYZ, or brother Kaleem or whomever. And I'm like, y'all need to stop that. For real, y'all need to stop that, because I'll sometimes be with the brothers, or we'll be with each other in each other's presence, just eating and chilling, and the nonsense is coming in. So again, Allah is all of us. 99 attributes, different manifestations of the one God. And the supreme angels, we're an alpha brotherhood. We're an alpha brotherhood. We're not monolithic FOI. And I want to say again that alpha men are comfortable in their own skin, even with their own perceptions that may not be 100% in harmony with the next. So the Holy Quran itself in Surah 3 verse 44 says that there was a dispute amongst even the angels over the woman. So if you're not spooky, then you'll understand that. Now, since we went overtime and actually went longer than I anticipated, I'm going to close out on this point, this message to the brothers. And it's dealing with the topic of mastery, because we are in the days of Allah and it's time for us to be masters. Surah 19 verse 93 in the Holy Quran says in Arabic, In kul man fi samawati wal ardi ila ati arrahmani abdan, which is translated as none in the heavens and in the earth but comes to the beneficent as a servant. End quote. That's how it translates into English. Now, the messenger said that Allah is all of us, right? So we are that beneficent. So therefore, nothing that exists in this 238 quintillion, 640 quadrillion mile circumference of our universe, nothing that exists, or everything that exists with that entire circumference of our universe, is here to serve us in some way, shape, form, or fashion. Good, bad, ugly, small, small, big, large, significant, insignificant, however we perceive it, it's here to serve us, including the bad. The devil is here to serve us in these days of Allah. And I'm going to back that up with a quote from the messenger from, this is from his 1969 Savior's Day, which can be found in chapter 48 of page 44 of Our Savior's Arrived. He said, quote, "We must know ourselves. We must know the nature of life. We must know the law of life before ever we can say that we are masters." End quote. So again, when you have a servant on one end, you have the master on the other end. And we can master any and everything that's here to serve us with knowledge of self. The sun, moon, and stars serve us. I don't have to get into any explanations for the sun. I think we're all intelligent and know how the sun serves us in so many ways. But the moon serves us. The moon, it pulls on the Earth's magnetic field. It pulls on the tides. If you're a herbalist and you grow herbs or plants, you can plant your seeds, or you can even take your tinctures and put it out when there's a full moon, and we can take advantage of the effects of the full moon, and so on and so forth. But everything is here to serve us. Even fecal matter, there's when animals, what politically correct persons will refer to as a mess, fecal matter from animals, it fertilizes the soil. Dead things, death, it literally fertilizes the soil, which in turn feeds us the nourishment we need to sustain our physical bodies. There's a saying in Islam: my prayer, my sacrifice, my life, my death are all for Allah, Lord of all the worlds. A person's prayer, a person's thoughts, everything serves some purpose. A person's sacrifice, we know how that serves. A person's life can serve us as an example. A person's death can serve us as an example of what to do or not to do. And even their physical body goes back into the earth and it serves us. A loss, if a boxer or a fighter suffers a loss, it's not really a loss if he understands. It's actually a lesson on how he can get better. A leaf falling off a tree in the fall, in the autumn, swinging from side to side. Someone could study that and say, oh, okay. And they can get an understanding of gravity, and they can come up with an idea for some invention, for some type of aviation invention or something of that nature. The death of a loved one can sometimes inspire somebody to go and push harder because they want to do it in dedication or memory to this person or that person. There's nothing that doesn't serve us some way, shape, form, or fashion that exists. It's not here to serve us in some way. We just have to have the knowledge of self and understand the law and the nature of life, like the messenger said, to know how to put these things into service for us. Heck, even the devil is here to serve us. The brother could be working on that job and the devil's giving him hell, right? But that hell can serve as fuel, as motivation for him to do for self and do what he needs to do. So everything is here to serve us. We're in the days of Allah, where the original man is going to rise into the knowledge of self and make everything serve him, because he's become the master again. So with that said, if there's any other points I left out, I might make a follow-up video, because I did go over time with this. I went over the time that I thought I was going to do, and I had some other things to address and to tend to. Oh, one more point that I wanted to make. Again, this is not misogyny. This is not woman hatred or anything like that. It's just putting things into perspective. If you look on YouTube, there's which I'm gonna actually put the link to this in the video in the description. There was, on the show Survivor, a group of people on an island, and the men one time separated, the women and men separated from each other. So the women had to fend for themselves and the men had to fend for themselves. And the women, they would have self-destructed, because they couldn't work together. They couldn't fend for themselves, while the men, they had heat, they had food, they had everything, they had structure. And the woman in the video said, it sucks that we need the guys. This is what she said, and she, I believe, is a feminist. But I'm going to put the link to that video inside the description so you can see this for yourself. But suffice it to say, I believe I covered all the points I said I was going to cover. But I might make a part 2 follow-up to this, just to touch over any points that I might have forgotten to touch on, that I may remember later on. So with that being said, until next time, just again, hit that like button, share, subscribe, etc.